call the meeting to order, and let me check the time. It's 7:09. And let's please start with the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. So, in the interest of everyone's time, we're going to move the public comments to the beginning of the meeting so that everybody has a chance to share. So each of us, each person who would like to share, you have about 5 minutes. 5 minutes to share, and who would like to go first? Okay. Thank you.
Madam Chair, it's a pleasure and an honor to address you. My name is Charlie Prattville. I'm with Food and Water Watch. We're a nonprofit environmental organization concerned about the climate crisis. And yes.
What's your name, sir?
Charlie Prattville, K-R-A-T as in Tom, O, V as in Victor.
What?
Yeah, you got it right so far. O, V as in Victor, I-L. And that's my theme song there. And I did want to let you know that I tried to attend your last meeting, and unfortunately the doors to the building were locked. So I was unable to get in and unable to say what I wanted to say, which was on the topic of the proposed gas power plant in Caseby. We had a very successful public education forum in Perth Amboy on May the 14th, and I was intending to invite you all there, but was unable to get that message across because of that situation, which I'm sure was not your fault, and you probably weren't even aware of the situation. But I'm glad that I'm here with you today, and I'm glad to see so many residents, participating in the meeting. And so I'll get right to the point. There's a lot of reasons to be against building more fossil fuel infrastructure anywhere, but especially in overburdened environmental justice communities like this one. So I'm going to pass around a fact sheet. I have enough for each of you to just take one and pass it down.
Thank you.
These numbers at the top are from the air permit application for the proposed power plant. So this is what they're asking for permission to emit into the atmosphere. And you'll see a lot of things that we don't want to be breathing. Ammonia, particulate matter, carbon monoxide. These are compounds and chemicals that kill life and make it harder to breathe. So I'm sure you're aware we already have a history of industrial pollution in Middlesex County. We've already got more than our fair share of this stuff in the atmosphere. We don't need to be giving companies permission to put more in the atmosphere. But I'm also going to draw your attention to that very first number before the bullet points. This would be the amount of greenhouse gases that would be potentially emitted by the new power plant. 2.3 million tons, more than 2.3 million tons every year. And this would basically accelerate and exacerbate the climate crisis. It would make this disastrous. We will see more flooding and devastation in our future if we don't change the course we're on. This would be doubling down on the course we're on and making it worse. I know, unfortunately, people lost their lives in the Hurricane Ida, and we are already beginning to see the horrendous impacts of climate change. And this would only make it worse if this were approved. So that is the main reason to be against it, but there are many other reasons, and you can see more on the flyer, and I'm happy to answer your questions about it. But I'll get right to the point. What I'm here to ask of you tonight is to take a stand on this. As the Environmental Commission, it is your charge to advise the Council of Woodbridge Township on environmental matters, including air quality and certainly protecting our climate and our water. And I prepared a letter that this commission could sign on to that would make that recommendation. So this is similar to actions that have been taken by other government bodies like the Sayreville Environmental Commission, the Perth Amboy Green Team, Sustainable Highland Park, as well as municipal governments themselves in Highland Park, Edison, Perth Amboy, and Hoboken. They've all taken a stand on this specific project in this community because Obviously, we all breathe the same air. If things are emitted into the atmosphere in Woodbridge, I'll be breathing them in 6 miles away in New Brunswick, where I live, and the climate impacts impact the entire planet, of course, for decades, generations to come. So other government entities have seen fit to take a stand on it and make recommendations like this, and I would humbly and respectfully ask this commission to take a stand tonight, and you could sign your name on this letter, and it's addressed to the municipal council here in Woodbridge, and I think that would be very appropriate, very fitting for this commission as the environmental commission to take a stand to protect the environment from additional fossil fuel infrastructure. And I'm happy to answer any questions you have, but I want to respect everybody's time, and I know there's other people that want to speak too. So that's all I have. If you have any questions, I'll be around and I'll hang out after the meeting too.
Great, thank you so much.
Thank you so much.
My pleasure.
Okay.
So,
I never expected coming the first time over here, and I didn't know such a thing exists in Woodbridge.
Okay,
Because
can you just
we live
interrupt you?
55, 60 years.
can you just tell us your name, please?
John Vertaric, V as a Victor, R-T-A-R-I-C.
Thank you, I'm sorry.
Being in Woodbridge all these years, and for some reason I realized that over the developments that we become a victim of the state, not just Mrs. County, the state. To me, it looks like we're dumping grounds. Before it used to be Elizabeth, Newark, now it's the Woodbridge. I'm fortunate enough to really study other parts of the state, county, and countries. For example, take Huntington County. You could never do things what we do over here. Why just us? Why us? Why Woodbridge? I know we are in a centrally located area. We got highways, which is traffic pollution. We got all this other stuff in Woodbridge, chemical things. Look about over here, Caseby, what they did over there, the projects, what they got over there, warehouses. It's Woodbridge, Woodbridge, Woodbridge. Why do we just give in? Not that they're destroying the air, quality of life, they're destroying the businesses, everything's come in. And the reason is that somebody's kind of either just don't care or naive, but we gotta stand up. Because if you go to other places, they laugh at us. They think we're just, nobody else wants it, but Woodbridge wants it. Years ago back, Mayor Greeley was over here, they would put sex offenders over here. Hoboken didn't want it, down at Camden didn't want it, and we did in Woodbridge because only temporarily. So this is not just a pollution, this is other element that's Woodbridge. Everything's negative, negative, negative. Maybe people that live in this area, they just came here. To them it's probably better than where it came from. But we know as here for all those years, we know how far, how down we went. And some people just don't have accessibility, or they don't have money to get the hell out of it, but they want to get out of it. And if you just look at the city officials, police department, fire department, all those people that are here for you, as soon as they retire, they get the hell out of it. Look at the people that the kids go to schools over here. They don't send the kids to school over here, they try to get them out of towns. They know probably more than we do. Why? But again, when you talk about this pollution, you guys over the bridge, I used to fly a lot. And you know state, but it's what? I used to go out to exit 8, and I used to watch the Green Lake. I said, how could you have a Green Lake built over New Jersey? Well, it was acid. Well, it doesn't do nothing, it doesn't pollute the water, but no birds will land on it. Whatever is in this thing that's coming from Caseby at night, during the day, it's not just us, clear vapor from that's contaminants. God knows when it's the water. Where do they get the water? We get the water from the river. What was very disturbing last council meeting, when we went up there, somebody brought up this power plant, and I don't know if the mayor just misspoke or he slipped. When Gentleman said Pertambo, town was over in Pertambo, I believe. The Pertambo don't want it, Highland Park don't want it, nobody else want it but Woodbridge. So he said something, but they rather have a power plant or they rather have the, what was it, radioactive site. Now I'm here 60 years almost. If there's a radioactive site, why do we know about it? Why did we know about it until the other day? And I believe I talked to the people. Their part of the property was the Red Arsenal, so to speak. It was military base, all of it. Who knows what was put there during the making nuclear bomb? You know that was made in New Jersey, part of fuel. And most important, it was given to us last couple of years, I believe, from the state or federal government or something like that. Why would we accept something and take responsibility to contaminated property? Because somebody gets for nothing, it's a responsibility to clean it up. Now, who's going to clean it up? You know, brownfields, I believe maybe you can clean it up. But when I talk to people, to work for the government, whatever place, there's no way you can clean up the radioactive site. There's no guarantee you can clean it up. Only what they do, in the nuclear fuel, any kind of fuel like that, they'll take Arizona, put it into the mine someplace. But again, and then of course, would be supposed to make some money. How much money? What's the money? If you don't be health, you don't have freedom, and no matter what, how much money we got for all the students up to now, with our taxes still go up. And at damn right, we pay too much to pay taxes, but let's face it, we never balanced the budget all this morning. The other day, Saddam, we balanced the budget, taxes didn't go up. But oh, why Woodbridge? Just think. I don't want to mention certain sites that I know it happens, right? In Woodbridge over here, certain business they run. It's contaminants all over, not just at this site. Please, we don't need it. It's not for Woodbridge. You know, take it to Woodbridge. They got a lot of it. They got twice as big as Woodbridge location. Take all those down. They can build someplace else. You know why they don't do it? Because they won't let them. And we just do it because we won't get some money maybe. So that's all I want to say. But again, that's why I'm here. I'm very concerned because not just, thanks God I can get the hell out of here. Anytime I want it, some people can't. And then you try to sell something like in KSB, if people know there's nuclear site over there or nuclear contaminated soil or this plant, who's going to live next to it? So you bring, you know, some people will benefit that. Just for a couple of bucks, what they're going to get, maybe. Why bring that down even further down we are? Because just look around. I'm sure you people travel through the country to the state. They're not just living in New Jersey, they're living more than us over in New Jersey. So we're kind of a, I mean, we just may be too nice to do these things. But any from sex offenders to prisoners to everything is Woodbridge. No, in all the other community township got as many different elements, which is not good for the Woodbridge Township. Thank you for your time, and you know, but that's my. But again, number one, what was my thing was when the mayor said that there is a radioactive, what do you call it, soil, and people should have known this. I came from Europe. If they got wars, they got a bomb fields. If there's nuclear, there's a signs over there. There's people in Casby, are they aware of it? Would the people buy the house if they knew something because over there? And don't tell them what they would move here. But again, what do you do now? So we don't need it. Let other people. This is not emergency. This is not saving their life. This is luxury that somebody's going to make money. Let them build someplace else and let the mayor raise the taxes. If it's better life, he's going to raise taxes anyway. But just to do it to make some money and clear up nuclear site, there should be a federal government's place instead of us. Or anybody else. So that's what I say. But let's not be sucker and let us live with us. Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Okay.
Ready?
Quite an act to follow.
Okay.
My name's Tom Maris. As I said earlier, I've lived in Forest in the township from the mid-1950s, so well over 65 years. My own background is, I remember working in a lot of the factories that were here back in the day when this was much more industrial area, including American Smelting and Refining, and I've worked for, following my career ended with working for major engineering construction companies. And we built power plants, we built cogen plants, which were very popular at the time. So I am not opposed, perhaps as Mr. Kraftbell and his organization are, to gas-fired plants, in the sense that I'm hoping that we do transition into not using fossil fuels at some point in time. But for the time being, they are a reliable source of power, much more so than anything else outside of perhaps nuclear. The rest are being developed, they are costly, and they are not totally reliable, as we may well know. So why am I here to say that I really don't want to see you put up, or the township, I should say, to put up this power plant, and then I would hope you'd use your good offices to perhaps convince the mayor and the town council, who have previously approved it, to perhaps not go forward with it. It's on hold right now, as the mayor has said, because it's just too expensive to go ahead and construct it. And in fact, one of the reasons I'm against it is that I do agree with Mr. Kraftbell and the organization, is the concentration. While that plant in itself, in another location, without adding to the concentration that is here in Woodbridge with 2 power plants already, because we have one in Casby and one over at Port Reading, would certainly put a burden to the people. And I think that's why the surrounding, matter of fact, I'm sure the surrounding towns are taking umbrage to it too, because it adds to the concentration. In itself, that becomes detrimental, particularly to the people that live right there in Casby. My sister lives about a mile from the plant itself, and it's not something we need. And again, we've talked to the mayor, and one of the things he came out with, and I know he's all in favor of this, pilot program, which is payment in lieu of taxes, which will bring in supposedly revenues of maybe $3.5 million, as he likes to assert, to the coffers. Part of a very small portion of which goes to the school system, by the way, and in fact denies them of a lion's share of their tax basis. Every pilot does that. So if you're interested in researching what a pilot program is, please do so. But I know that's not your charter, it's environmental. But with regard to the environment, John McCormick, our mayor, has cited on several occasions that that area is toxic. It has to be cleaned up. It was supposed to be cleaned up by the people that are there now when they came in. Because the mayor has said it was radioactive, I went and I will pass out, I have 2 copies for you. I'm sorry I didn't bring more, but you might want to put it in the record and share that with the folks. And I'll try to run through them very quickly. What I did was to submit an OPRA request, is Open Public Records Act. And I'll read it out very quickly, and then I'll give you the responses that I got. In accordance with OPRA requirements and the right of common access, the following Woodbridge municipal records are requested. 1, the agreement between Competitive Power Ventures, CPV, that's the company that's going to be built or has one power plant ready, and Woodbridge Township to perform all site remediation of toxic, radioactive, and other contaminants at the existing 725 megawatt power plant and the proposed 630 megawatt plant in the Casby section of Woodbridge Township. Point 2, the township's record showing the types of toxic, radioactive, and other forms of contamination at all on the aforementioned CPV sites in Casby, which have been identified in correspondence between Woodbridge Township, PBC, and the New Jersey and U.S. federal environmental agencies at all. Number 3, the record showing how much of the PBC's properties in Casby have had the toxic, radioactive, and other contaminants remediated, and how much remains to be remediated. So that is a big question, and Mr. Vitale spoke to that. The next document in the list of packages I gave you is just simply an acknowledgement from the town clerk's office saying that they had assigned tracking number 13847. So I'm just showing that for consistency. The next page, being number 4, is the response that I got back to the OPRA request. The township has officially come back and said there are no responsive records. It means there's no records of this at all. Between anything that I asked for, those 3 items, township has no record. I went back and I spoke directly to the town clerk, who is one magnificent, I'm just going to go on the side, individual. I've never met any more than John Mitch that's dedicated to the position and to his town than John Mitch is. Anyway, he came back and said, in regards to OPRA 13847, which is what we're speaking about, remediation/cleanup and identification of the toxic substances at the CPV and Caseby site. The cleanup was overseen by the New Jersey DEP Brownsfield Site Remediation Program and CPV. The township was not involved in the remediation and has no records pertaining to the cleanup. So I think that's something that your environmental group might well want to look into, even if you have to request the records yourself through the New Jersey DEP and or the federal. Because obviously the mayor's touting that there's radiation over there, that the plants are going to clean it up, that it's still radioactive, and one would question how could you have an operating plant in something that's right adjacent to a radioactive site. So that is something that I would hope you'll look into, and I hope you'll also take the time to continue. And I want to thank you all for your dedication for doing this. I think environmental is a key issue in our country right now. I'm not the dire climate change person. I believe climate change has been going on this planet since it formed an atmosphere, and it's going to continue. How much we as humans are contributing to it is a matter of great concern and obviously a hot topic. But again, the power plant, to me, it's just too much concentration in one area, and I hope you would look at that and make recommendations to the mayor and to the council that perhaps, if they can, or even to the governor's office more precisely, because he now holds, from what I understand, the key, if you will, to canceling the power plant. So if enough people come to our good governor and insist, as the other towns are doing, it may not go forward. And I hope you would take it under advisement and act accordingly. Thank you for your time.
Thank you, Secretary.
I'm just gonna get back in. Why don't we, with the bill of first plant, they're supposed to build a 100-acre park alongside the water. What happened to it? What's going on? How long it takes to build a park? I want a farm up in Flemington, big farm, and they want to put a solar panels on my farm, 73 acres. They want to build solar panels on it. Next to me, we call Locketown Green Acres, what do you want to call them? They got 300 acres side that they bought it from that people. Left it as a park, like the farm that is, they left it for nature. Let nature take it over. You know, I'm talking about something like this, you don't want to touch it, you probably clean it up, but don't try to put something on it that people will be working or living on it. You don't know what's underneath it. And very seldom you hear, not quite often, but in Edison, they're digging big building, they find ammunition. We don't know what's there. It's not emergency, and I don't think it's a necessity. This is just somebody's want to make a fast buck. Put in solar panels, make a park, and let out nature take it over. That would be nice today, because money that you go from there, I think it's too dangerous, too risky, and it's not good for the town to get all this, be known as, like I say, dumping grounds for the rest of the state. Because we just give in no matter what it is. So I please, we don't have much left, we don't have much land left, we don't have open space left. Put that every square inch, and then what are you gonna do? Try to go up higher and higher and higher. That's what they'll do even now. So it's not necessity. Question, are we gonna get money? It doesn't say they might build it year, 2 years, 20 years from now, we don't know. But in the meantime, they tie up and they give us promises, we don't need it. Who needs it? Let them build what they need. But don't use us
John,
to that.
enough.
Thanks for your time. If you can do something.
People want to get a meeting
do it.
going. You've been on your
Do it.
soapbox
Do it.
all night. Come on.
I'm a country boy.
Thank you so much, both of you, I appreciate it.
My name is, stand up? Or?
No, okay, sure.
My name is Celeste Racano, R-A-C-A-N-O. I'm from Colonia. I was a teacher in the district, Woodbridge 20 Middle School for many years. Anyway, so I'm here to speak up. Thank you. Well said. Everything that you said is absolutely right on. As to the park, I did email the mayor several times on that because I watched, there was a YouTube that, who did it? Not Brenda, I forget who it was, that did the YouTube video from the township back in 2019 and showed what they were going to do with the waterfront park and this and that. And I'm like, well, it's 2022. Whatever happened to that waterfront park? Anyway, basically the email from the mayor, which I do know who he is. You know, he's been to the school. We used to do a career day. He would show up and lot. Anyway, and he said basically they just can't get it cleaned up. But then CPV gave the promise that they were gonna do that, and it never happened. And it's just, you know, it's just the way it is, it's the money and that's it. Anyway, so I'm here to talk again, I'm with Food and Water Watch and other environmental groups, and mainly gonna talk about methane, because I get a little bit irked when they call it natural gas. There isn't anything natural about it, it's methane. But we have to call it what it is. Why is that so serious? Well, just quick facts, and I'm not a chemist, I'm a reading teacher, but I'm learning. Okay, methane is 80 times more powerful during the first 20 years after it's released into the atmosphere, and it's 25 times more potent than CO2 at trapping heat. And as we know, 90% of that heat is absorbed by our oceans. So what does that have to do with us? Well, with all this continued greenhouse gas emissions, we're going to raise the threats of sea level rise, and of course, you know, we have plenty of severe storms. Health risks from the pipeline spills, yes. Contaminated drinking water, yes. They just had a program on that recently on PBS, that big oil, and they talked about that. And and bomb trains, which can level an entire community if they derail when they bring the natural gas down. And yes, it does happen. Each year, 1 in 10 people die because of fossil fuel related pollution. Last September, there was an agreement, as we know, initiated by the European Union and the US. More than 100 nations pledged to work together to cut methane by at least 30% by 2030. That was at 30 by 30. That same year, our Governor Murphy, accelerated the greenhouse emissions goal to a 50% reduction by 2030. Well, we're running out of time. We talk about tipping points. We're there. We have 8 years to get to 2030. So adding another methane power plant, which is what this is, let's call it a fracking plant, whatever, you know, let's use it by what it really is, it's only going to take us further away from our goal. So what we need to do, as I spoke about in this program, is I call it the 3 Ds equals the 4th D. We have to get away from denial, that this is not polluting anything. Obviously, we all know that it is. We have to get away from doubt. We can't delay. So there's your denial and doubt and delay, because it's always going to lead to what I call the big D, which is deception. And I do honestly believe we're being deceived. To say that this is the cleanest power plant, kind of like saying clean coal, that doesn't exist. So as I'm just going to end and say that the time is running out to convince our government leaders and organizations of the urgency to take action as an essential step to avoid the worst impacts of climate change. And as I said, we're almost there now. We're hitting tipping points. You know, I am a climate reality leader. I've been trained in this, and I'll tell you, it was an eye-opening. I thank every one of you for this. This is wonderful commission that you have here. I really appreciate you taking your time to do this, and thank you for listening.
Of course, thank you so much.
Good evening, Jimmy Dabrowski. Live in Woodbridge. I grew up in the Avenel section, a lifelong resident. I'm a proud member of our NAACP, Perth Amboy Area Branch, which, as you may know, represents Woodbridge, Perth Amboy, South Amboy, Sayreville, Carteret, the 19th Legislative District. I'll be at the National Convention in July in Atlantic City, so it's the National NAACP Convention is coming to Jersey. I'll be down and I'll be talking with our state environmental chair, Marcus Sibley from Southern Burlington County, about this issue. He's been briefed and is awaiting to see how this meeting goes. A lot of people are kind of waiting, to be honest, to see how this meeting goes. No pressure, but I guess I saw you have this listed as item number H on the agenda, the KSB fossil fuel power plant on your agenda tonight. So I was hoping I'd hear your comments first, and then I could kind of respond. I'm hoping it's good news, but I got to be honest. Like, you know, meeting somebody in the elevator, what I kind of heard is that the boss said you're coming. Like, oh, you're Jimmy, the boss said you. That kind of, I'll be honest, it hurts a little bit that the mayor would kind of have to warn you about me, like I'm some kind of a, I don't know, bad guy, when I'm here for a good cause. You know, when I'm a teacher in Perth Amboy, 17 years. When I told my students that the Amboy Green Team is recommending that the resolution be passed to oppose this, the kids, you know, kids, they get it. This is a no-brainer. They said, yeah, they're clapping. Oh, we got to stop that power plant. And then when I told them the council followed through, the cheers, it felt great. My son's a 4th grader here at Marby Street, school number 1. He knows what's going on. When I come home, Dad, what happened? I want to tell him, you know what? they're actually taking a stand, or at least one of them is. I don't know if we'll get everybody on board, but just to get one of you on board and to go against the status quo. I know it's so tough, but Inger Anderson, who's the chair of the UN Environment Program, she said that, the quote was about a little over, maybe 2 months ago, what's needed now is political courage. And I know that's tough, because that's what complicates this. This would be a no-brainer for you, for the Woodbridge Environmental Commission, if politics weren't involved. But the politics makes it a challenge for you, because let's face it, you want to get reappointed by the boss, right? And some of you, your terms are up next year, 2024, 2025, and you want him to reappoint you. If you go against him, you might not. And we got to be honest about this. I'm very authentic. I love when people can have authentic conversations, and that's the only thing that's stopping you, I assume. I think you all know this is the right thing to do, and I hope you'll do it tonight and not say, oh, we'll get back to you, because you can do it right now. You have that power. You've been charged with that power, and I hope you use it wisely and show the residents of Woodbridge, yeah, you know what? We are going to stand up for our environment, and we're not going to be beholden to political bosses and political machines and that kind of stuff. But yeah, I know I'm rambling. I usually come prepared. I'm unprepared tonight. I was called last minute. I said, yeah, I want to be there. I want to make sure that this goes the right way. So I really thank you all for having. I didn't even know we had a Woodbridge Environmental Commission until recently, but it's a great thing, and I hope you take it, as serious. And this is something like I said, it should be a no-brainer. Kids get it. Adults, we should get it. Like the Dr. Seuss book, The Lorax. What's that saying? Unless someone like you cares a whole awful lot, nothing is going to get better. It's not. And we all need to care. And yeah, we might make a few people angry at us, but oh well, sometimes doing the right thing results in those kinds of things. So I hope we'll all, take that stand tonight, recommend to the council to oppose this power plant, because we don't need these carcinogens being pumped out. The false dichotomy of, oh, well, it could have been a radioactive site. Do you want that? No, we don't want that. And no, we don't want 2 toxic power plants either. We don't need either of those. We could get the site cleaned up without having power plants put there. And the Colonia High School situation, imagine that was radioactive. Was the plan to have CPV come in and knock down the high school and, oh, we'll clean it up in exchange for putting up a power plant? Of course not. The residents of Colonia wouldn't stand for that, first and foremost. Caseby, they won't know any better. I think that's kind of been the thought process with that. We're putting it in Caseby specifically. So, yeah, I could go on and on, but I'll stop now. But I think I made my point. I hope you'll, tonight, vote unanimously to stand against this power plant. I thank you so much for your time. I really appreciate what you're doing for our community. So thank you.
I'm sorry, it's first time over here, but let me do one thing. I always ask when we get something from the state or government, is there any strings attached to it? Whatever property we get from county or we get Woodbridge, we get it, then we put certain stuff there that nobody wants to put it there. I don't know if you take that rehabilitation center in Avenel, they always tell us to put something nobody thought they would put there because nobody else wants to put there. Well, we got this thing from the state. I said, what can we do with this? It's up to us. But you said the governor has to say, put okay on it. I believe when we got the property, what you want to call it, gave it to us, or what you call it, did it to us, they told us what they wanted there. And this is what we got to stand up to it, because first of all, we should never take it down in that condition. Second thing, again, let somebody else do it, because we don't need it, it's not necessary, and you people are the most important people who say no. Even just one of you said no. Let's figure out what happens from the study. What's in the ground, how soon can they do it, and again, like the old lady said, put a park in meantime there if you can. And wait, because they might get okay today, then I'll go build for 10, 20 years. And then what you do, meantime you're holding the, and not $3 billion either, right? Thank you.
Thank you so much.
I want to make a comment. James, I want to make it clear, when we, for the boss comment that we had before, that doesn't mean that the mayor inform us. No, what we were talking about, that was the chair inform us that as members that people of the public will come to the meeting today. That doesn't mean the mayor told us that you guys come in. The second comment I want to make, it is true members of the Environmental Commission are appointed by the mayor, but we are not under payroll. We don't get a paycheck. We are citizens of Woodbridge who are coming here every month to do what we're supposed to do to help Woodbridge benefit from it. So
If I could,
I want to make that clear.
if I could, I appreciate it. It was just, oh, you're Jimmy. They told us you were coming. It kind of came off as, that's the way I think anybody
No,
can take it.
that was-
And I said, who's
that
they? He
was
said, the
case.
boss. I don't think the boss was the chair of
I
the.
guess that's me.
That's the
I don't think she said Jimmy.
I guess that's me.
said, oh, it's like, oh, you're
the
Jimmy.
chair.
And,
Bruce Springsteen, I don't know how you.
Yeah, but I know you're not getting paid, but I know, there's, let's face it, we've all read the article. He can be a vindictive guy. I'm the mayor of this town. Everything's mine. He's said that to residents. When I was going door to door with the community choice aggregate, at least 3 residents said, I'd like to sign it, but I can't. I don't want the mayor to see my name on this. And I know he's a powerful, well-connected individual, and I wish he was here. I'd say I'm not, afraid to say this to him. I just wish he would. I wish he would do the right thing on this and say, you know what, own up and say I made a mistake. This is a bad idea. Let's not do this. And that's leadership. The whole doubling down and I got to stick to my guns. That's the old way. I think we got to move on to, what, I was wrong and I can admit I was wrong and I want to do better. I wish he would do that and I wish more of us would do that. So, but thank you for your clarification, Danny. I appreciate it. That is the way I took it, and I wanted to be authentic because it felt a certain way. It hurt, but at the same, it does make me proud in one way. Okay, at least I'll proudly be that guy in the community that stands up for what's right. But also, it's like I don't want to be vilified for it. I wish I'd be, I wish he'd be standing with me on this.
We are on your boat, my friend.
Okay, yeah.
You're more than generous with your time. I said you've been more than generous with your time.
Well, we
Thank you.
really appreciate your comments, and, that will definitely help us as we prepare to make decisions at the appropriate time.
I'm sure you
So-
will. And just keep in mind, there's contractual obligations, as the mayor will tell you, so it's not so easy that he can't just say, cancel this without a great deal of harm to perhaps the community from a legal standpoint. The governor certainly can, and I think that's where the effort should be made, as the groups are doing in the other towns. Put the pressure there, put it on the New Jersey DEP, put it on the governor's shoulders. It also gives, if you will, the mayor a way out of this if he'd like to get out without getting the illegal encumbrances for the township. But again, thank you for your time.
Great. Thank you all for your feedback. I
Agreed,
appreciate
the
your
air
comments.
permits, agreed. Permission to pollute the air, we just need them to deny the air permits, agreed. Like, I get it.
Oh,
Go up
okay.
to the governor level. Like,
Okay.
We'll let you get back to work.
All right, well, thank you all so much.
Thank you very much.
Thank you very much.
Are you going to speak on item H?
I'm
Cheryl?
Tammy, it's
Oh,
nice
that's
to
so
meet
nice
you.
to meet you.
All right.
Oh, will you be speaking on item H at some point?
Well, I think that everybody said what they had to say.
Jim, what more do you want to say?
Well, I want to hear from
I
them. I
wanted-
want to hear from them about it.
I need more information.
Oh.
I
Here at your
personally
service, yes.
need more information.
Sure you do.
And I think that we all, as a commission, need to talk about it.
You can get in touch with us, you have our information.
Yes,
if
we
you'd like,
do.
and we'd love to come back, and I think we're all on the same page. So again, thank you. It's all about the community and
Thank you.
making sure our environment is as good as it can be.
Okay.
Thank you for your time and courtesy. So it's good to
Pleasure
see you.
to meet you all.
Thank you very much.
You really volunteers, this is such a wonderful thing, that's terrific.
I'm really happy to be a part of it.
Oh, it's really great.
It's exciting.
Seriously, I mean that, really.
Thank you.
All right, thanks so much for your concern.
If you didn't
Kyle,
care
when's
about,
the-
if you didn't care about the
Dr.
environment,
Davis
you wouldn't be
opening?
here, so we know you care.
Exactly.
Everything goes right, we should be open up first week of September.
So good. All right.
Yeah.
That home and in first, my
Did
favorite.
great.
Yeah, we had a lot of pushbacks,
take the rest of
between
it.
like
Oh,
permitting
okay.
and how far we have
And
to
I
do
said
the
I would
actual
do-
construction of the building. Well, it's 100 years old. We're extending it 45 feet.
We'll keep one for.
My person from down the told me she gave her advice. She's a nice guy.
But I promise you,
I'm
it's
kind
gonna
of
be a
keeping
great.
my own
We want
records,
to try to
and
get it
then
up
what
for
I,
the summer.
what I'll do
It should
is
be
like
done in
my-
August, but just like
Okay,
training employees and having a soft run with the family and
Every
friends.
time I start work, so I'll be getting my head.
Perfect, let me see you. And thank you for coming out tonight.
Yes, I have that, and I
Guys,
have
appreciate
this.
No, thank you, I appreciate it.
This
Tammy,
one
thank you
too.
so much.
And I promise, we're gonna be taking
Danny,
everything.
thanks, man.
This I got from.
All right,
my
thanks so much
Yes.
for your time.
I always handed out at the meeting we had at Birthday Party.
Okay,
Yes.
okay. All right, thanks, everybody. So if you all are okay, I'd like to move on with the open issues. These are the things that we discussed at our May meeting. And I want to just address I had the key to the building that day. I did come out a few times to check. I didn't see anybody, and I apologize if you were there waiting.
Yeah, she did come out, I remember that.
We did, because we were waiting for other members of our commission to arrive, so,
I don't think they can just leave it open so that anyone can come in, because
no.
on that day I came downstairs where the police usually lets in, and they said, you need to go upstairs.
That's right,
So
and
I
that's,
came upstairs,
and that's when I saw
and that's when
you.
I saw you.
So I'm
So they can't
glad,
leave the building open just,
I am glad
Okay.
that there's an officer here today, you know, to make sure, because otherwise I'd be running up and down
well,
to check.
we wouldn't know who would be out there.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly, so, but we're welcome. Okay, so at our last, I guess we should approve the minutes.
Make a motion.
Yes,
We
please.
did make a motion, didn't we?
Did I
We
make,
did.
am I allowed to make a motion? I'm still learning. Did you all have a chance to read the minutes? Does it look
You
acceptable?
make a motion, I second that.
Okay, so
We're good.
am I allowed to
Yeah,
motion
yes.
to move it?
Yeah.
Okay, so
Yeah.
I made the motion and Danny seconded it. Okay, so thanks, we can move on. Okay, so the seed library was something we discussed. Chantel was going to go and check it, see what the status is, and then we were going to talk about how we're gonna maintain it, how we're going to continue. But I think you went.
I went a couple of weeks ago, it is in dire need of seeds.
Okay.
I think the process of the seed library is really that we put from our budget, as far as I understand, some in there, and that people take those seeds, they plant them, and then they bring the seeds back in a little folder, and then they put them back in there so that people can use them. So it's supposed to be a
library.
rotational thing. Yeah, it's supposed to be, but it doesn't work out like that, and I don't think that it actually has ever worked like that, because I remember talking to her name is Woodley, when she was chair, and we talked about that. I remember talking with her about that. She said, yeah, it doesn't quite work out that way. People do take it and they forget,
Or they don't,
or they don't bring them
they're
back.
just enjoying them.
Right,
and
and
don't
they
think to-
forget about them. I mean, it's really not meant to be a punitive thing. Oh, you take our seeds, we don't give you no seeds. You know, that kind. So anyway, it's a place in the Forest Library, and they toy with the idea of actually expanding it to the Woodbridge Library as well, into the Colonia. But for some reason, those branches didn't want to do it at that time. So that's all I know of that.
I wonder if the Island Library would be a better place to
It's more
have that.
central, right?
Well, it's also where the garden club meets.
Oh, maybe.
So I'm wondering if we could, I don't know, because I'm a member of the garden club, a new member of the garden club. If we could enlist their help or their participation. It's just a thought.
Well, that does sound good.
So you wanna move the seed library from?
Or
for-
expand.
Well, I don't know, maybe Fords wouldn't like it if we took it away.
Yeah,
because
maybe
it's,
Expand, yeah.
maybe expand the
The locations.
the
you have
location, yeah.
Yeah,
And
'cause-
we might have a little bit more of a return in that location because you've got, you
Well,
know,
you got the garden
you got 20
club.
people coming once a month. They might actually even use more of the seeds. I don't even know if they know about it. So it's something
Most
I
likely
can,
not.
if you want, I have a garden club meeting on Tuesday. I can ask them if there's a location in the library where we can have like a little trial run, see
Right.
how it goes.
Right.
And if it works out, we can build that up, that area up as well. I can ask the garden club if they're interested in also
Yeah.
working on that.
That does sound good.
And Chantel did say to me before she, when she was here at the bite, she said she checked the seeds, it was very minimum, but she's willing to add to it, update it,
Right,
and
we
get
should.
it back to the spot where it needs to be at the Fords.
All right, so maybe we, as a commission, can use, okay, so I know the budget comes later for us to talk about. We can use maybe our budget to rebuild it and also expand it, and then see where it goes.
Right.
We can see where it goes, and I think maybe, I don't know, I never knew about the seed library, but I don't go to the Ford's library, so I only learned about it after the Earth Day, thing, not this
We
year.
received those seed through donation.
Okay,
And we also get donations.
That Jeanette, when she was a member, she used to contact those people and we get them as donation.
okay. Okay, I can, also talk to Rutgers,
We can do donations of seeds.
you can,
Yeah, we can do some, it's come out right up for donations of seeds.
yeah. And I'm a little bit connected with the environmental stewardship program, and I know they do donate plants, so I can ask them also if they have. So I'll go ahead and work on the Island part, and then does anybody wanna take on, and I'll also ask about the donations from Rutgers. But does anybody wanna take up the charge to look into other places to get our seeds?
I can also ask Chantel, see if she's
Okay.
interested, because I know she's gonna do the Ford, but if not, I can definitely contact some people to get some seed donations, you know, I don't know if Rutgers Garden would be interested, but I can see local gardens, maybe out of this township to see, I'd be interested to donate some seeds to us for our seed library to start.
Okay. All right. Okay, that sounds good. Thanks
Yeah,
for
it does
checking
sound-
that out, Tony. Tom, I'm sorry we made you wait all this
No,
time.
please, it's.
Tom's here to give us more information on the tree inventory, open spaces, and the community gardens. The community garden question was, how can the Environmental Commission play a role in the gardens of the township?
Cool. So I mean, I could maybe piggyback a little bit too on the seed library component, right? So one of the neat things that you guys might want to think about, so at a lot of the locations where you're considering expanding the seed library, there's already existing rain gardens. So maybe harvesting some of the seeds at the end of the year, you know, to just get the community involved, get kids involved, like teach them about, you know, kind of the life cycle of the plant, and then, you know, it could essentially live at that library, and you could also, you know, spruce up the garden a little bit too in the meantime, you know, just kind of see if anything needs to be replaced, any, you know, shrubbery. We do that now with DPW, also a lot with Rutgers. But it could just be a neat component, you know, if the seed library does expand, there's already rain gardens at.
At each one of those libraries, they have a rain garden?
I know Island has one.
Yep.
I know
Ford's
Island-
has one too.
Okay.
Okay.
And Henry Amen has one, and the Woodbridge Main Library has one.
And who takes control of the rain gardens there? Like who's responsible?
So they're
Is the
township-
library?
So well, it's really the township, because technically they're stormwater management best practice techniques, right? So DEP just recently updated their stormwater regs to include green infrastructure like rain gardens. You know, the town was doing this way before that. These are just projects that were put forward as good ways to better absorb, you know, stormwater, water quality, you know, things of that nature. But the fact that they're existing, and essentially the seeds just go to waste every year when either DPW or Rutgers comes in to clean them up, it could just be a neat idea to kind of utilize what's there, and they're already on site. Just an idea, just wanted to kick it out to you guys.
That's
Okay.
a great idea.
Yeah, integrate with that.
Yeah,
Definitely, I
yeah,
agree.
That is a
sure.
good idea.
It's it's just a way to, you know, potentially make sure that there's always eyes on the garden at least once a year, you know, to make sure that the drainage is working well, which we do. We have inspections, but we're getting more and more, you know, of the rain gardens in town. There's just one right in town hall parking lot, so yeah, just a thought, guys. You know.
Maybe asking the high schools.
Yeah, for sure.
If
The
they
high
have a garden
schools,
club, or
yeah,
even the
absolutely.
middle schools, a garden club,
Yeah.
or nature club, or something like that.
Yeah, and
Even scouts.
yeah, the
I
Islam
always bring
Library.
up scouts.
Yeah,
No,
yeah,
that's
definitely.
perfect, yeah.
Yeah, you know, I mean, the Islam Library, I know that that's where the garden club kind of functions out of, right,
Yes.
Tammy? So, yeah, so I mean, that would be a perfect spot for them. I've had correspondence with them in the past too, they've done great work.
They're amazing.
Yeah, so, just a thought, I mean,
Okay.
just kind of neat to bring the whole life cycle of the plant.
And I know that the person in charge, her name is Angie,
Yeah, she's great.
she has a connection with I guess JFK. So like she
Yeah,
has,
yeah.
I know we give scholarships and stuff like that. So she has people who come and work
So I think that would be a great
Cool.
idea. Thanks, Tom.
Yeah, definitely. Just to just throwing it out to you. I mean, and like, as you guys know, anything you need help with, connecting the dots, or we have all the engineering plans, all the inspection sheets that might be needed. So just give me a shout, and we'll make it work.
Perfect.
Okay, great.
Okay, so that was just my thought on that. Just wanted to make sure I didn't forget it. But so, tree inventory stuff. So the town went kind of full throttle on this. I want to say in 2016, 2017-ish. We tried to literally identify every tree in the township using GIS. So geospatial technology. The town, we have our own GIS specialist. I do GIS, but we also did. We work with our DPW staff, and just about all the folks on DPW that do storm sewer work, anything like that. They use iPads or their phones, and they can physically input what they're doing. So I do a lot of that stuff with our flooding issues, right? So we have all that stuff mapped in GIS. But basically, what I'm getting at is DPW utilizes GIS on site to specifically identify a whole host of things about a tree. Is it potential for debris to fall? Is the age getting to be a hazard? Are there any known issues associated with invasive species? The size of the tree, the canopy. So there's a large metric there of data that they're collecting for every tree that they essentially get to. Like I said, we started to go full force on it, and as I'm sure you can imagine, just the enormity of the town. I mean, that's its own department unto itself. So basically what we do now is, as trees are planted, or if there's an issue associated with a hazardous tree that there's a complaint on, if it's on township property, it gets it always gets tracked basically. So at this point, there's no individual that's going around to every tree. It's just it's as the hazard or new planting comes about.
Do we have an idea on the number of trees?
Yeah,
okay, we do.
yeah. I sent that over to
We do have the information.
Tammy. So we have I want to say like 1,400 or so
Okay.
mapped.
Is that in the zip file?
Oh,
I know you
I'll
sent
send
me
it
a
to
whole
you.
bunch of
Yeah,
stuff today.
yeah,
Or you resent it.
That's okay.
The annual report, I have the community visioning.
Yeah,
I
so
have that, so it might be in that, it's just.
it's in one of the email threads that we have. So,
Okay,
so
I
that's
might
okay.
have to search
Yeah,
it.
I'll send it again.
Okay,
It's
I'm just-
okay. No. Okay. So I'll.
Tom, you
but-
said 1,400?
Yeah, I
And
mean
Woodbridge
honestly.
only?
Yeah, honestly, Danny, don't quote me on that, but it's over 1,000.
Approximately
trees.
1,400.
Yeah, it's
Somewhere
over
in there.
1,000 trees that have been, mapped on GIS and are accounted for basically. Now that, like I said, that's ongoing. It's not its own tree program, so to speak. But if it's something that you guys would want to help us with, if there's parks or open space areas or just however you wanted to help. What we could do is, I'll come in and do a training on how to install it on an app that the commission would some kind of an iPad or, some kind of way that DPW is already doing it. We would get you guys set up. I don't know if we could get, 9 iPads, but at least I'm sure one, we could figure out a way to, marry up whenever they're, someone at DPW might not be using it or what have you, but if that's something that you guys wanted to get involved with, I could certainly show you how to use the app, how to install the data about, what kind of tree species it is and stuff like that. So I hope that helps a little bit.
Yeah.
So, tree inventory,
Mm-hmm.
how does that work? If I am dealing in a property and I wanna take some trees down for whatever reason, I can take them out, and what happens then?
That I sent over to Tammy as well. So there is an ordinance on that. It's all regulated through planning and development. I don't touch that side of it, to be honest with you, but there is an ordinance in play that talks about you know, how many trees need to be planted per.
Okay, that's what I
and
wanted, that's what I'm
removed.
asking. Okay.
Yeah, that's all.
Okay.
That's all.
'Cause I know of that, but,
Yeah, no, I got you. I can't speak too heavily to it. I did send over the. That's okay.
I feel
No,
so
that's
bad.
okay. I'll
I'm feeling.
I'll come to the next one
I just
again.
want-
Yeah, no,
Okay.
I'll come to the next one again and
Antonio.
everything.
Antonio, when it comes to tree in Woodbridge, you can take them down and that's it. Even if the town say, don't take them down, you take them down, they will fine you and that's it. They do that.
they will fine you and that's it? Oh, fine you.
Fine you, yeah.
Oh, I have to fine you.
Fine
I'm hiding
you
in this,
too.
I'm
Fine
hiding in
you.
this room here.
That's what they.
I got you.
I live in Eastland.
Okay.
I live in Eastland, and where I live, there is a developer that came in. She wanted to build 2 houses. We had 2 big trees on that property. 2 big trees. We said you cannot cut them down. She did. Nothing happened. And she planted them back, no follow up. One died, nobody come back and plant it back. Nobody's really watching.
See, in Woodbridge, I knew somebody had to get a tree cut recently. They had to get it inspected, they had to get it approved, and then when it was done cutting, it had to get inspected again. All from the township
Well, in Woodbridge,
in Woodbridge. So there's definitely a process here.
I don't see it.
Yeah. I'm just curious.
Yeah.
I mean, I think if you cut down a tree, I mean, I don't know anything about process or procedures or legal, but if you cut down a tree, you ought to replace the tree.
The environmental
that's-
the environmental commission always complaining about this.
Correct.
Always. When it comes to trees, we always talk about it. The township doesn't do enough to protect the trees. We always talk about it. And if other environmental commission are where they will tell you exactly same story. I have, other people had it. They keep chopping trees everywhere. People hate trees in Woodbridge. For some reason, I don't know why.
Okay, so I will ask you to resend it to
Sure.
me,
Yeah,
and
no
then I will forward it to everybody.
Yeah, no problem.
That way we can look at it.
Correct.
Yeah, it's good to know about.
But I like the idea of us taking part
Okay.
in mapping somehow.
I would just like to implement it into here at least, to give an idea of our inventory.
You're right, to
You know what I
know.
mean, to our resources,
Right.
so there's a section we know how the trees, and I don't know, whatever, at the end of each year, if we planted whatever, and we cut whatever, we just keep updating it, and we can stay on and count here.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Are
I'm gonna
we-
need your
so
help.
that-
Well, you're
that
gonna
we
have to
do
talk
every
about
year.
this.
Correct.
What is, what
yeah,
is
so
that?
So this is, we got this in 2008 was the last updated, unfortunately, but this is the environmental resource inventory.
Yeah.
And this goes over kind of all of Woodbridge Township on all of the environmental levels.
But that's-
Soils, geology, wetland, but again, updated in 2008.
That's
That's why
correct.
this bothers me, I would love
Okay.
to update this
Nobody
because
update that book.
since then, it's 2022 now, and it's like,
We did an update in 2019.
you do have an update in 2019.
I promise.
Okay, I would love to see if you get a copy.
Yeah, I'll-
This is what we've
yeah.
been looking at for, I don't know
Yeah.
how many years now.
Yeah, so like the soils haven't changed, hydrology not so much.
But open inventory?
There's anything that there, so there's a change to floodplains, so I'll send everything to Tammy.
Perfect.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Just I would love to update
Yeah,
that for
for
us.
sure, absolutely.
You know what I mean? Even from the 2019, I would love to update it to the 2022. So
And
we just
where,
haven't.
like, what, is it like, yours is bound, is there a bound copy of that somewhere? Like, I don't know if the libraries have it, or where we,
I think our commission only had this.
okay.
Yeah, I never knew about another copy publicly.
Yeah, that's the only one.
That's why I thought this was the only. But he's saying there is one from 2019 that
Wow.
is updated.
2019 was COVID, so maybe.
Even then we still need to update that. I agree. Yeah.
I do have this that you sent me, but this is not that. This is just the annual report, so, okay, I'll ask
Yeah.
you to send
Yeah,
that to me.
no
I'm
Tommy,
gonna
Tommy,
send you, I'll send
Tommy,
you.
I have a question here.
Yeah.
Regarding to what Tom just said, regarding mapping of the trees.
Uh-huh.
Are you saying that we wants to be involved in the
I don't
mapping of the
know. I
trees,
think-
or we want to do follow-up? So somebody else is doing the mapping already, so we don't have to be
A lot of
involved in
people
that.
are mapping it already.
So yeah, we don't have to be involved in that, but we
Right.
can do follow-up, make sure that we know what what is there and as somebody's protecting it. So I think we should be in the protection
In the
part of
protection
it.
part.
Yeah.
Okay, so then we wouldn't need the GIS, we would just need to know where the trees
Well,
are.
the GIS will help us.
Correct,
Define
review that,
them?
in my opinion, yes.
Okay,
Yeah.
okay.
Yeah, if we knew about it.
We wouldn't be going out mapping it, but
Right,
we
we
could
wouldn't
review
be
the
going around
GIS,
looking for trees.
look at it, maybe add it to agenda every other meeting or something,
Right.
doesn't have to be exactly every meeting, but then you can review what was cut, what was replaced,
Yeah,
each section, and then you
That's the part we want.
can, and then you can look for protection.
Yes,
I agree.
protection.
You know, why was this month we cut 50 and we only didn't plant any? And then we can kind of follow up on that.
Okay,
Yeah. And that's just an example, it wouldn't be that extreme.
okay. In the new environmental resource book or data,
2019.
the 2019 one, is there information about the open spaces as well? Is that part?
We updated aspects of open space parcels in relation to Blue Acres. So, and as you guys all know, and Charlie, you might not be aware, but I work a lot with. I'm the floodplain manager for the town, so we've had over 160 structures bought out through the state. We've done a lot of great things through floodplain management, a lot of floodplain restoration. Just in the last month alone, we've planted over 1,200 trees in that area, trees and shrubs, I should say. But so that aspect of the report was updated to include the additional parcels that are now considered open space that were formerly residential lots.
So we went up on acreage then?
We in terms of
Open spaces?
open
Yeah,
space
we went
inventory.
I'm based, if we added the Blue Acres, I don't know.
We
We could have balanced out?
Yeah, we'll check.
Okay.
But I don't know to what extent we, you know what I mean, we compared data.
Okay.
But I do know that we at least included the fact that there's these additional parcels now that are for in perpetuity open space.
Yeah, it was like, think about the trail we walked on. That's all open space now.
Yes, that's beautiful.
So like, I don't know
The
what
ones
the,
in Crampton Trail?
correct.
Oh,
Yeah.
glad you guys like it.
Yes.
Nice.
Oh,
100%.
that's
Yeah.
beautiful.
I had to show him that.
Oh man.
He liked
Yeah.
that.
You see, I used to bash Woodbridge, but he did a
Come on.
very good job. Oh, he did a very good job on that one.
There's trail signs coming too. So,
Oh.
Yeah,
so
and they've added more since I brought you.
Oh.
Yeah.
there's now
My kids actually go
Yeah.
to Somerset
Yeah.
that's
on
gonna be
trails.
Can you take me?
Okay?
Yes, it's very
But
nice.
now I'm telling them about the
A
trail.
lot of potential there.
You see, they said, where's that, Daddy? I said, well, there's a trail in Woodbridge.
Good. I'm glad you guys like it. That's awesome.
I have to take them to Somerset on the bike trail.
No, that's good.
No, there's a trail in Woodbridge.
Yeah.
Yeah, cool. So stuff like that has been updated. If there are any changes to the Rossi, that's in there. That's the the registered open space inventory. But yeah, so absolutely, I'll make sure that you guys have a copy of that.
So Tom,
Yeah.
what we are interested about on the open space, we want to know where they are
Yep, I got you.
so we can visit them and what we can do to protect them.
I got you. Yeah, so one of the things that, and this is going back, I think, like 2018 or 2019 when we spoke once about the conservation, the easement areas, right? So we mapped those, I think pre-COVID. So we know, yeah, I mean, they're all GIS mapped at this point. Just open space parcels, I believe we have that mapped on GIS, but I'll take a look. And any open spaces, I can't imagine that they wouldn't be protected through either Green Acres or, but yeah, I mean, absolutely. I mean, anything that you guys want to take a look at, to have a complete inventory of every open space and how it's protected. That's going to be a big exercise, but sure, I'm happy to help in any way.
Yeah.
We see too many buildings going up.
I hear you.
We don't know if that was an open space. We don't know anything.
No, I understand what you're saying, Tony. I'm happy to get you the data and any, take a look at, we could, we might have to dive into county records to look at, deed restrictions and stuff like that if they're county parks, but anything that you guys want to take a look at, I'm happy to help facilitate. It's just, fine. I mean, first let's get you the inventory, and then if you want to take the next step and see how they're protected in perpetuity, we could do that.
Okay. Yeah, it'd just be great to update the inventory. That'd be
Yeah,
perfect.
yeah,
That's a start. I agree.
Yep, I got you.
Okay. Also, you had shared with me the location of the community gardens,
Mhm.
Tom. And I did share it with you all. I don't know if you were able to see it, but
Yep. Yes, I do.
St. Isidore's Community Garden at SJV.
Yep.
East Green Street Park Community Garden.
Yep.
Mayor Frank Pelsman Memorial Park Community Garden.
Yep.
And Sycamore Senior Center. And Woodbridge Township Health Center Community Garden. Now, there was a garden that you mentioned, I think you mentioned it.
Oh, that's
At
the,
the last meeting, and I don't know if that's one of
that's,
these.
Parker Bar,
Parker Press,
Parker Price.
Parker Press,
Yeah.
okay.
which used to be our garden.
That used to be our garden.
Correct.
Is it not there anymore?
It's still there. The
Still
beds are
there?
there, but it's not me. It's overgrown.
Okay.
Yeah.
So who put them in, those beds? Was that,
The Environmental Commission.
okay. There's nothing in them now.
No.
They're just overgrown. Yeah.
So the way the community gardens work now, they're adopted by different groups, right? So the one at the health center, I think Addiction Services kind of takes care of
Yes,
that
I'm
one.
sorry, you did say that.
Yeah, so different groups, whether it's a church or just a local neighborhood, I think is involved in one. But basically, they're overseen and helped facilitated by the Department of Health. So one of our folks that works for Health Department coordinates with all these different garden coordinators, and the fruits and vegetables are then donated to the local food pantries. So we have tonnage on how much
Is
is
that Peter
donated.
Barcelona?
Yeah, yep, of course. yeah, Peter's amazing. So
He helped out with the park at the East Green Street.
yeah,
Yep.
Peter's amazing.
Yep.
So yeah, I mean that's how they work now. So is that something that you guys would like to take back up with Parker Press and kind of work with Peter and help donate food? That would be great.
I was seeing what the town said if we wanted to implement some of these new apartment complexes that are coming in. All these people don't have land, and we were saying if it's possible to rent out plots or even have donation if you can't charge them, so they can have a plot for themselves where they can grow vegetables and gardens or herbs just for their little apartment complex, and then it's getting maintained, and then they're kind of seeing how that works, And so we're not maintaining the garden ourselves,
No, it's
but we
neat.
have the apartments actually doing it because they don't have land. And I guarantee you, out of all those people, there's going to be somebody that wants to actually grow vegetables and stuff like that. So we don't know where we stood if we had the Parker Press, we cleaned it all up, and if we wanted to implement someone from the apartments, would we do donations? But I don't know if we can charge them based on what the land is on, and that's what we were kind of asking Carol too.
Okay, that I don't know the answer to. That might be a John Mitch question too.
Okay.
I don't see why we cannot charge them because all the town do it.
Because of the Parker Press, I don't know.
Oh, not Parker Press.
East Green Street, yes.
Yes.
But I think that money can go back then to the Boy Scouts.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, obviously, the Environmental Commission wouldn't be taking any money here, but just trying to implement the community into gardens using these plots. And I think it's a great way to get them integrated, and it's a great way to whoever's maintaining get them a budget.
It's a neat idea.
Yep.
Do you feel comfortable asking John Mitch?
Yeah.
Or does someone?
Yeah, I can ask John Mitch. Yeah.
Okay.
And what locations do you guys think? You think we should do Parker Press, East Green? Start with 2 and see how that goes, and then we can try to go through this list.
Well, East Green, it seems like it's already.
It's all going to be all for donation for food. Okay.
East Green.
That's
I think
already
it's-
taken care of. It's already sponsored by Cheesecake Factory.
Oh, yeah?
That's, yeah,
Oh.
the East Green Street Park.
Should I reach out to any of them and see if they're interested? Hey, are you interested in renting out any of these plots? After I get maybe an okay from John Mitch that we could do some
I
of these
guess
things?
you'd have to ask the sponsor,
Correct.
right?
Yeah, so I mean, I guess based on what the response is, if you guys decide to move forward, maybe we'll get a conversation together with the potential sponsor and Peter, just about how the whole thing might work.
How the
out.
logistics
I mean,
work
yeah,
out. Okay.
So
Okay.
So you'll take the lead on that?
Yeah, I'll contact John about that. And then I'll share it with everyone, and then we can go from there.
Okay. All right, I'll move on to the budget. I don't know what it is. Carolyn said she would get back to us about the budget. I spoke to her, and she said she would find out.
I think we do get a certain amount of money allocated each year, and we haven't
What
used.
is the budget?
We haven't been involved in 2 years,
it's
so
not-
it's like,
Right, so
there should be a
It's
budget.
not a big,
It's not big, no.
number. It's not a big number.
No.
Okay.
No, definitely not, but it's something.
Stuff that
I
every
asked
year
her-
you get.
What is it and what
You have a number?
can we do with it?
Yeah. In 2018, the budget approved was 1,600.
A year. Okay.
2018.
Okay.
And when a budget doesn't get used, what happens? Is it roll over?
Oh, we had to use it.
Because we didn't use it in 2020 or 2021 because of COVID.
Well,
Just-
I understand that, but we have to use it. And
Okay.
besides, remember, we have fees to pay for
Correct.
inject.
Right.
Which, yeah.
Fees and for the seeds and everything else.
Which we have to review if we're still a member of ANJAC.
You know,
Okay,
that's
we
a-
are.
That's a pride, me too. I
We
saw
are.
that too, because they won't list us on our
You see?
website.
All right, well, all right,
Somebody
so,
They don't, and I was
I-
disappointed with that.
all right, when I was asked to take this position, I said, oh my God, I don't know how to do that. So I said, let me join ANJAC. So I joined. I paid $50. I joined it. Then I met with Tom and Carolyn and they said, oh, you shouldn't have had to pay for that. But I didn't know, so I already joined. So when I joined, then I got an email from them saying that we owed dues.
Correct, there's.
So I forwarded that, I guess we owed dues for 2 years. So I forwarded that to John Mitch, and he said he would take care of it. So we're in, they at least have me, and they're emailing me if there's a problem. I
And
guess.
Sustainable Jersey, I think those are the two that we should kind of be part of at all times.
That I don't know,
Okay.
that I don't know about Sustainable Jersey. And,
'Cause they offer great grants, both of them, they offer events and stuff like that, talks, and it's just more information that we could absorb and then implement into our town.
okay, so I don't even know about them, so.
You can just go on their website, check
Okay.
them out, yeah, it doesn't have to be immediate.
So the town is 12 years running Sustainable Jersey Champions.
Okay.
So
So we're in it.
we
Yeah, we are.
we submit every year.
We are?
We are number one.
Okay.
We submit every year for the most points, hands down. So it's not required to submit every year. We do submit every year. We just submitted for over 1,200 points.
Okay,
It takes 200 to get certified.
perfect.
So
So we are certified and
we do
we're crushing
a
it.
lot. Yeah, we do a lot of great work here. So anything that you guys want to get involved with Sustainable Jersey, just let me know.
Tom. Who's in charge of Sustainable Jersey now?
At Sustainable Jersey,
Yeah,
at the nonprofit Sustainable Jersey, or at the township.
the township.
Carolyn and I.
Okay.
Yeah.
I think your name pop up many times, but you don't want to say it. Say it.
I just look for grant availability for us, you know, if there's
He's in
available
charge
things
of
to write out
Sustainable
to.
Jersey for the town.
Yeah.
Well, Carolyn and I, but yeah, I mean, listen, anything that you guys want to get involved with the Sustainable Jersey actions, we do. I think we submitted for over 96 actions, I think.
Okay,
So anything you guys see that looks like something you want to get involved with, that we're doing, or you want to do more of, or, you know, just let us know.
okay,
I mean, we get points because you guys are a commission. That's 10 points right there. So if that's what you're referring to, Kyle, you guys are recognized by Sustainable Jersey as a
Okay.
governmental commission.
okay,
So
yeah,
you're good. So if there's grants or programs, anything like that you want to do more of.
okay,
Good.
cool.
Okay, Tony, you talked about the not pink tub, the teal tub,
Yeah, it's right back there.
okay?
So what I did is I just kind of sort through it, didn't throw out anything that was duplicative. And I think you remember pink because you remember this. And left it just
Ah, there
There's
you
something
go.
pink.
There, okay.
a lot of this is really old, sign-ins and information that people use to put one or another program. That's really what it is. And so I just kind of try to put some organization to it. I didn't want to mess with it too much. So I was told that there is a bin downstairs for it. so we can put it in there, so anyone who wants to look at it can look at it if they need it. For historical perspective, they can look at it. If they wanna see who signed in or
Yeah.
whatever, so and I think we probably should do that on an ongoing basis, going forward, so that it's there.
Just keep adding to the records.
Right, just keep adding to the
Okay.
records, so
Right,
anyone
right,
can,
okay.
okay? So
Because
that's
it's
why I
gotta
didn't-
be legal.
You have to,
records.
yeah, I don't know if
It's
you can
like
get rid of it, it's
legal-
very true, that's what
Yeah,
I'm saying.
no,
There's
I-
probably a time frame.
No, I already threw out stuff that was printed that really had nothing to do with, we got from somebody,
Okay,
not our stuff.
Okay.
So.
all right, well, that's great, if they can give us a little bit of space.
And they said they would, so I'll take it back home and then I'll bring it back during business hours.
Okay.
So I
Okay.
just wanna make sure
I'm
that,
off in the summer, so I
Yeah.
can run
yeah,
anything, I can run anything.
but I'm all right, I'll bring it back later in the week sometime.
Okay,
And then find a place for it and they can tell you, well, I can tell you where it's at.
okay, so we all know where it is,
Right,
in case
exactly.
we need it, and,
Right, you're not gonna probably need to refer to it often, but
But if we put our new
but if you
stuff
start
there,
putting
yeah.
stuff in there, that would be great. I mean, all you need is a folder or something, just starts.
Just do it by the year, your agenda for the year.
Exactly.
With
Yeah.
the sign-in sheet and just
Right.
keep doing
And just
folder
keep
year by
it
year.
there.
And then
Okay.
you just, if someone wants to go back to it for data, you have what we went over, how long was
Yeah.
on our agenda, did
Yeah.
we handle it?
I don't think we've done that in the past, so that's a good thing.
okay, good, I'm glad that's good.
Mhm.
Okay, the shed, I didn't speak to Carolyn, but I had emailed her. She said that storage is a problem for everyone. Tom has some of our stuff in the engineering department. Hopefully someone in the environmental commission can store our stuff. We will not get another shed.
So I, just so
That's
everybody knows, I don't have anything in engineering.
Okay.
Is that you with all that stuff in there?
Yeah, no, it's,
I'm
so
coming. No,
I
I'm
think
kidding.
it was when Merely was on the commission,
Okay,
Merely was in engineering as well. And at times, you know, if there was mail or, I think you guys were doing some giveaways for Every Earth Day, there was environmental commission tchotchkes, I'll call them, floating around.
There's still an outdated
Okay.
wheel in there and stuff like that. There's a couple of.
that's in the shed though.
Yeah,
It's the
it's,
shed.
there's nothing over by us.
Okay.
I only know because we had to clean out everything
Mhm.
for other reasons.
So in the shed, there's a wheel and there's shovels and stuff.
Correct.
We're not getting another shed.
Okay.
So if, I honestly don't have any space in my house. I cannot store anything.
Okay, we're not getting another one. Can we fix what we have?
Yeah, can we go inside there and organize it? Like I can
Yeah.
pull everything out,
You know, make
go through
sure-
those hoses, go through those tomato cages. I don't know, there's a lot of stuff in there that, you know.
Can we like rebuild it, you're saying, like, you
Oh,
know,
we can
like
fix
put
it
up
if some
new shelves or something?
wood's missing, so we replace it, make sure it looks, oh, good,
Okay,
You know, update that lock.
yeah.
You know, stack that lock.
okay, I can ask her. I can't imagine her saying no, but I don't wanna make any promises, but I will ask
We
her.
have a budget.
Oh,
We can
okay.
use a budget to fix the shed.
Alright, we can use her budget, okay.
Where's the shed? I'm just curious.
At Parker Press.
Parker Press.
So if you go in the back of Parker Press, there's two small sheds, we have one of them.
Yeah.
And
Well,
apparently
makes sense if you're
the
gonna use
one
it
that we
car-
have
yeah.
is really falling apart.
It's old.
I got you.
But there's a lot of space in there, I will say. You know, I think once you organize it, I think there is a lot of space, and there might just be a couple pieces of wood you need to replace.
Yeah.
Small things, a lock, so it's, you know, not breaking off there a little bit.
Yep.
We can fix it.
Okay.
The WD-40 did great.
Yeah,
Yeah, I'm just saying.
every year.
That's got us far.
So you're gonna tell us about the fossil fuel?
I can
H.
tell
No.
you, I
I
can
mean, is
tell.
there anything else to say, I
I
guess?
don't know anything except for what I was told.
Okay.
Because you brought it up at the last meeting, and I didn't know anything about it. So I, when you brought it up, I actually spoke with Carolyn on the phone. And this is what she said. This is on May 23rd, I spoke to her.
May 23rd.
May 23rd. The site is currently radioactive from previous things that were done, possibly dredging or another company that was there. The company, CPV, that is approved to put in the clean gas power plant will pay toward cleaning up the site. This will be healthier than what is currently there. The DEP supports this project and has thoroughly investigated the company and their practices. The plant will be green and is much more clean than other plants because it's new, and there are new rules in place nowadays that were not there in the past. This plant is not planned to be used for more than 20 or 30 years and will provide the energy needed while the world is preparing for cleaner and more sustainable energy. That's what was shared with me. Does anybody, do you have any information other than that? Does that sound like?
Well,
I mean,
okay. We are the environmental commission.
right.
We, remember, that was approved already. Woodbridge approved that plan already, but it's put on hold for some reason.
They're waiting on the air pollution permit from
Okay,
DEP.
but we had no say.
Correct.
We had no say to what they did, but they approved it anyway. But, so, that's another story. The fact is the plant is radioactive now, and the plant will clean it up, and that's gonna be, what they're gonna put there is gonna be much better than the radioactive.
Then what's
part
there
of it.
right now?
So, I don't understand, but, because if it's radioactive, just clean it.
I don't know what the contaminants are exactly. I tried to look into what the brownfield development area was, and I saw in 2009, that's when it actually got switched over, that 240 acre area of Caseby. I couldn't, even in here, I couldn't find out what contaminants were. I just find out it's contaminated. So I don't know if it is
Yeah,
radioactive or whatever.
if
So
it's- if
even
it-
if there's not industrial, I don't know what could be used for it. That's my next thing too. It could just be open, you know, I agree with you on that. You're not putting in greenhouse emissions then. So, but I don't know if the best thing is to, you know, what you're saying, you know, if it's radioactive, we're gonna switch it to a,
Yeah.
to an industrial site then.
It's gonna be much better. No, if
Yeah,
it's
that's correct.
radioactive now, clean it.
Correct.
Okay, don't say, oh, well, it's radioactive now, but they're gonna clean it, and then they're gonna put the plants here, and it's gonna be much better. No, doesn't make sense. People have a right to complain about it. We listen to them, but at the same time, we don't have the commission, we don't have any veto power on this. It's a shame.
Regardless of whatever job benefits, tax benefits, or whatever, et cetera, comes for it, as environmentally, it's not great for the environment.
No,
We should be on that extent, we should be probably against it. Politically and all that other stuff, that's not where I'm on the environmental commission board for. So, I don't know where we wanna stand on that, but that's my kind of opinion on it. So if I was asked, how do I look at this environmentally, I'm against it, because it is adding greenhouse emissions, regardless of what we look at it. How is it doing everything else politically and stuff, that's not my job to look at it that way.
We probably don't know enough about
Correct.
the
I don't know-
whole situation.
Exactly. And I don't even know if everyone's getting all the info. Is CPV
Right.
giving all the info, or is that just between the state and them and DEP?
Right.
You know, so we're only reading bits and facts. But at the end of the day, it's gonna emit more, and that is adding greenhouse gases, which we don't want as an environmental level, because that's going to add to climate change. I don't know on what level it will, but it will add.
and the other, what is in John make a point. They promised a park before.
Yeah, I didn't understand it. Where was that park
Okay?
located supposed to be?
That's the first time I hear.
Me
about
too.
it.
I wrote it down. Went to my research on that. I don't know where that
That's the
100.
first time I hear about it.
I mean, it sounds like replacing trees, that kind of thing.
Exactly.
I mean, that's why I was asking about that.
100-acre park.
Yeah, that's all.
So
That's
out-
a good.
out of the
that's a good
brownfield
size-
development area, my guess?
That's a good size park. I mean.
And where's the park?
My guess in the brownfield development area, it has to be.
There's no park.
There's no park. No.
So it's
If I could tell you, because there is a park, it's still being remediated, it's adjacent to the site. I guarantee you.
So it's in the brownfield development area.
It's adjacent to the site.
Okay. Okay.
so the park is there.
It's still being remediated.
Okay.
Okay.
It's
So they're cleaning that up so that they can actually do something with it.
yeah. Well, I'll follow up with Tammy. There is a 100-acre parcel that has been being
Designated for-
It's been years that they've been working on the site, but it is in the process of
My question would be: is that the state or is that us as Woodbridge doing that?
doing the work.
Yeah. Who's at least putting up saying, okay, we want to make the 100-acre park?
again, that's all part of the.
And who's doing the
the
remediation?
contract.
Okay, with CP, okay.
Part of DEP and the
Okay.
company, right?
So it's kinda out of our-
Again, guys, I don't know the details of that. That way predates me.
Okay.
And it's something, if you guys want to dig into, feel free. I just want
No, we're
to
just
make it clear
curious,
that you guys
really.
don't leave this room thinking that there's not a park.
So it's, yeah, it's
There is a park that's being remediated, and you could see it. I mean, anytime that you're on the Driscoll Bridge, you can see it. I mean,
Okay.
it's the.
Who's doing the remediation?
Again, I'm sure there's multiple companies involved in it.
Okay.
I mean, it's not an easy project.
Okay.
You know what I mean?
But it's not like non-existent.
It's 100%
That's what I'm trying to say, it's not-
If you're on the Driscoll Bridge, you could see the green space
Perfect.
adjacent to the industrial sites.
Well, because this is the first time I hear about it.
No,
what
I
wanna say.
understand,
But it wasn't factual.
Not that I'm encouraging anyone to look over the bridge while you're driving, but
Well, yeah.
you can see there's a clear. It's there.
There's a clearing in there.
It's
Yes.
there and it is coming. I promise you that. It's just it takes unfortunately a long time to remediate these
Well,
sites.
yeah.
Fair, that's fair.
It's, historically industrial town's 353 years old.
Right,
So it's but we'll follow up on that. Alright?
Thank you.
DEP is involved in it, and so
Oh, absolutely.
it does take a long time because
Yeah, there's multiple.
they're very
arms-
methodical
multiple
about all
arms
that
deep
stuff
involved, yeah.
when they do that stuff.
Yeah.
Have all sorts of.
So I said, I figure a lot of this on the state level.
Right, they have a lot of people involved in that kind of stuff, so. I was just curious.
Okay.
It's good to know.
About the secretary, remember we talked about if we could have a secretary assigned to these meetings? No, we cannot. We need to appoint one of our members to act as secretary, or we can take turns. We will not get someone from the township. I don't mind being the secretary for a while, being that I'm new and I'm still learning so much about everything. It kind of helps me to understand what's going on, but maybe, in January, we could talk about, if somebody else wants to take that on. But unless somebody else wants to take it on, that's fine.
I'm okay with her taking it, I'm okay with someone else taking it, I'm okay with picking it up, whatever you guys wanna do.
I don't get it. You ask for a secretary
Yes,
and they say,
no, we cannot.
What's the secretary
But-
consist of?
well,
Somebody to take the
Really
minutes.
just taking notes
Just taking notes?
of like meetings like this.
and prepare
Yes.
the minutes, everything, so.
Okay,
Yes.
and then a type up at the end of what we talked about it?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes, and apparently, I guess the reason why it came up at our meeting was that there used to be someone who did that,
Yes.
but we
Yeah,
can't.
she
Is
was.
I don't
that
know.
was against the Environmental Commission rules or?
No, I asked Carolyn if we could get a secretary, and she said no.
So we can ask a member of the community to come and be our secretary. Can we do that?
Well, this meeting is open to everybody, so,
You can ask the chairperson, you can get somebody to come every meeting and be our secretary.
okay,
If they wanted to do that.
they want to do
Would you
that.
prefer to have a public person do that rather than have
Well,
us?
that's what we had before.
I thought it was a
I think she-
member of the
yeah, I
commission,
think she-
or a
No.
government employee, no?
She used to work here,
She
but
works
that
for the town.
doesn't mean,
Yeah.
the work that she was doing for the commission has anything to do with the township.
Okay,
So as the chair, you can get somebody to come and act as our secretary.
okay.
That's what Avril used to do
Mm-hmm,
when she left, and Millie was working at the engineering, and she became the secretary.
That's what I remember.
Okay, but yeah, we can get
you can tell I really don't know what I'm doing. Can you
What?
tell?
No, it's not that,
Okay.
It's not
just
that.
trying to
It's
make
not
your way
that.
through this.
we're trying to make it
You're
work.
trying to make
Right,
it work,
right, okay,
exactly.
alright,
We
so-
hear you.
Yeah, so
I
will-
don't have any problem with doing it from time to time.
Yes, yeah.
But, I can't do it all the
It's
time.
not something that anybody would wanna do
Yeah,
all the
yeah.
time. But I don't mind right now
Mhm.
doing it because I am learning and I'm just,
Would you wanna do it till January and then we can try to fill that position for you so you don't have to keep upkeeping there?
Yeah, that would be good.
Okay, and then it
Maybe
gives
we
you a
can work on
time
that.
frame to find someone, it's
Alright.
not like immediate?
Okay,
Is that,
but you
know,
want
that
me to
sounds
look
good.
for somebody from
Yeah,
the
why not?
community?
Yeah.
Okay.
People will come
Someone
and
could
do it.
volunteer, they could put that
Yeah.
on their resume, so to speak, or something.
The secretary of, I'm a secretary of the environmental commission.
It's like the UN secretary, right? Yeah.
Okay. All right, so we'll do that for January. That way it takes a little bit of the pressure off. We
Yeah,
don't have
yeah.
to, I don't have to worry
You don't
about
have to
that
worry.
right now.
unless
Right.
something arises where someone wants to do
Remember,
it.
there is
Wait
no,
till somebody jumps in.
no meeting in the next 2 months, you know that.
Right.
Right.
How do you guys
We're
feel,
gonna
how do you feel about that, Tim?
Let's add that to new business. Can I put that in there for new business? We're almost there,
Okay.
summer. I'm just gonna write that down for summer.
Okay.
Okay, all right, so we'll just, I found out that our member who is on the planning board is Jay Ali.
Yes.
That's what, everybody wanted to know that.
I knew that.
Okay.
Yep.
It came up with it.
Yeah.
Because
Alright.
it needs to be one environmental commission and one planning, but they have to be in the same board.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, we have to have one environmental commission member on the planning board.
Okay.
He's our representative.
I think I remember of him,
Yeah,
right?
Jay.
Yeah, okay.
It's been a little bit since I've seen him, yes.
Yeah. Yeah. Mm.
He did actually ask if he could call in today, and that brings me to Kay. We're not allowed to have hybrid meetings. The township policy is that all meetings are in person.
Okay.
That was, so I did say to him.
No
I'm
phone calls,
sorry.
no Zoom.
So there will be no more phone calls.
Yeah. Yeah. So, so that's that. That's old business.
That helps, that doesn't help quorum.
Well, that's what that
Remember,
actually,
we don't have quorum today.
yeah, so I really don't, if our quorum is 5,
5.
okay, so that's, if you guys don't mind jumping to M,
We don't.
okay. Somebody mentioned Robert's rules to me, none of you, but it came up, I guess that's how a meeting is run,
Right.
with Robert's rules. I don't know how to do that, and does anybody else know? Because if you know, then we need to figure out if we have to use that
Robert's rule.
at our meeting.
Honestly, that was the only thing on the agenda that I was trying to catch up on. I didn't know what Robert's rules was. I was like,
Okay.
what is
What's
Robert's
Robert's
rules?
Okay,
So what is the,
so basically, I think it's the whole process of making a motion, seconding the motion, approving things from before. But I don't, and like, I've been on committees and like in church and stuff like that where you have to, put it up for a motion and then you have to say if you approve it, yes or no. That's all I really know
So
about
that's
it.
the Robert's rule?
And, then then I was remembering the quorum, that because Chantel was talking about quorum last time. So, I don't know if that's related to Robert's rules, and I don't know if we have to do it. And what do we do if we don't have a quorum? What happens? Those are my questions.
My understanding is
If
if
we
you
don't
don't
have
have a
a-
quorum, you don't have an official meeting. You can
Yes.
still have a meeting, you can
But
still have a meeting,
It's not on record.
but
Meeting's
it's
not
not
open.
an official meeting.
so you wouldn't put that into the box, you're saying?
Well, I would put it in there but I would put in there that it was, there was
Not
no
official.
It was not official, there was no quorum.
Okay, interesting.
Okay,
Yeah,
maybe
it's
we
not like you
can't
don't
vote
do
or
anything.
something? Are you,
It's not like you don't pick up your broom,
Yeah, yeah.
are you allowed to like vote still?
No. we
No,
don't have quorum.
that's-
So you're not allowed to vote?
Right,
Okay.
so that's why it's not official,
There it
because
is.
there are no,
There's no voting going on.
there's no voting on that makes your decisions binding on the group line anyone.
And the number's 5,
Yep.
including the chairperson.
And how does that, how is that, how, is there like is that like the definition of a quorum, like, or is that just our quorum? What does that mean?
In order to have quorum, we need 5 members present.
Because we have 7,
Well,
is that right?
we have
Yeah.
We have more
nine.
than, we have more than 7.
We have 9 members.
Right now, we only have 7, I think.
Oh, we need 2 more. We call
Supposed to have
it-
7
because-
members plus 2
Well,
alternates.
quorum means something, right?
Yes.
It means
We
the
have,
number plus what, 2 more people?
it's 9 people. It's 9 members. 7 active members and 2 alternates.
Correct.
So it's 9 people. So if you got 4, you don't have quorum. You got 5 people out. More people is out. You need 5. You need 5 people, 5 members present to have quorum.
So a vote can be finalized.
All right,
So 4 people cannot vote for the other 5.
That, yeah.
okay. Thank you. So we don't know about that. Well, the other reason why I was asking is because I know someone who's on the historical commission of the township. And I was just talking about the meeting, and this happens to be a child who's my son's age, who's on this, and he's like, well, don't you do Robert's rules?
You're like, well, tell me about Robert's rule.
And then, you know, and it's something about like the minutes being published, and I know we talked about that a little bit today, the
Yeah.
minutes are published on the website, I'm like, I don't know if our minutes are published on the website. So that's why I brought it up, because I wanted to just ask if you guys know.
So if we don't have quorum, do they get published or don't they
I
not
know.
get published?
I
That's
know.
the question.
I'm still going to do them,
Yeah.
and I'll still share them,
Yeah.
but I don't know.
So I do think that whoever the secretary is, their writings, it should get published on the website after every meeting, after the agenda. So then the public can go onto the website, go to the Environment Commission, open up the
Go
PDF.
right to that
see
website.
And this is what they talked about.
And that's at multiple environmental commissions, they have that, where the ability to go to the database and to see what it is. So like, not only we have the records in paper, but then it's also digitalized.
Right.
And so that's, to me, I guess what the secretary's real job
Right.
is to update that, well, hand it off to the township that updates that website.
Okay.
Yeah.
So, I guess I should find out if they would still accept our minutes if we don't have quorum.
Did Chantel not count today even though she came? She wasn't in?
She's not here.
Okay.
That's a John Mitch question.
Okay,
Okay.
I will ask him.
Because it would be beneficial if they could participate in some way, fashion, even if they're not physically here. I mean, that's really my position on it. I'm not gonna make a big deal of it, but these are volunteer people, and they don't all the time, they're not always in the same place.
Right.
Some of them are working, some of them have to travel.
Family responsibilities,
Right,
et cetera, et cetera.
and anything comes up, I could be coming down here and I get a flat tire. I mean, you know, what am I gonna do, walk here?
I remember it was bit today by her cat. She had to go to the hospital.
There, I mean, as silly as that sounds, right, that
But-
she was bitten by a pussycat, you know, I mean.
But also, I think that this means we have to make sure we have more members, because I know that, I think there's just 7 of us right now. And so I don't know what to do about, you know, I'll ask John Mitch about that too.
The mayor,
Because he wanted to know from me, who are the members and who are the alternates?
yes,
I don't know, because I got that
that's
information
supposed
from
to be
him.
on the website.
That's all up to date now.
It's,
Yeah, that was up to date.
Yeah,
I got that up to date.
oh, because he had sent me an email to
So
ask me about
that's
that.
on the website.
Okay, all right, so are there
Remember-
2 vacant positions
Remember,
now?
Kyle's name was not in it,
That's
it's in
right.
there now,
I know.
That's right.
I was
Who-
that.
who-
I went on that
who
website and I
updates
was
that
not happy
on the
with some
website?
things.
the township.
The township itself?
Yes.
So whatever is on that website is gospel truth, so to speak?
Yeah,
Correct. They updated our names. They updated our terms when it actually ends.
I never looked
And
at that, so.
I still have certain things that I think can be updated on. That's why it's like a mission statement at least, explaining
Right,
what we're
right,
going
I think
over.
we talked
You know,
about
what
that
you said with
once.
the secretary, the database, even having an open box for the public, where they can go in, write something that's
send an
going on,
email.
and then we can look at that while we're here to go over what's going on in the town. Just because maybe someone doesn't want to come in or didn't have the availability to come into the open meeting this time, but at least we can review it, you know, through that.
Yeah.
And again, that's just whoever's doing the website just needs to implement that.
so, in that case, we would need somebody to maintain the website.
I think the township maintains the website already.
Yes.
Yeah, we,
So we would not be involved with that. We would just be we would be supplying them data and then retrieving data. So what gets answered into the box, we would get and review it, and then we'd also give them what happens at the agenda. And then the person on the township side, they're doing all the plug and play.
So they would take whatever is sent and cut and paste, so to speak.
I believe
Correct.
we have 2.
Maybe there's, I don't know if they edit it or
Well, they have to edit it.
there probably is a format, etc. Exactly.
Right.
I don't know.
I believe so. There's a website that's connected to the town, the township, and we have a Facebook page also, I believe.
We have a Facebook page.
I remember that,
We have a Facebook.
yeah,
I'm not involved with Facebook ever, so I wouldn't know that.
I don't think so.
Okay.
I'll have to look for that. I wish we had this discussion in September. God. Okay. Kyle, you wanted to talk about summer.
Yeah. What are you guys' thoughts about not having this? So we basically want 2 meetings, not a year. We only want to meet 10 times a year.
Well, I don't make the rules,
Uh-huh.
but that's what it is. August, no, July and August, no meetings.
Do we have control over which months we don't meet?
I don't know who made
I
the
just
rule.
feel like if we're gonna do like the garden stuff or anything outdoors, implement in July and August to me are important months to be with your community.
Well, you remember, when we were doing the garden, the community garden, even though we do not have a meeting,
Okay.
we know who's supposed to come and water the plants every day.
Yeah, I just feel like we can maybe if we wanted a meeting to talk about certain things that were happening in the summer, it'd be good. Where I feel like December and January and February, the weather here is not great, and maybe that's not going to be best for what we're doing. It was just a thought. That's where I
I
was
have
at.
no idea who decided.
I didn't know either.
July and August
It's
is
been that
fine.
way since I was on the board.
I think maybe for vacation, maybe.
We only meet one day out of
Yeah,
the
I don't
month.
know. I
You
don't
could
know.
steal a vacation.
I have no idea. Remember,
Right?
I'm not that old.
That's funny. Okay. So you guys are not against it if we had a meeting
I
this
don't
summer
have
and
anything
the
against
days,
it.
the months are all different? Okay, so we
I
can
think we
discuss.
should find out why in the first place
Okay.
they had it this way.
Is that a John Mitch question, I guess?
Yeah, I'm just going through your website, guys. Yeah, that's a John Mitch question.
Okay.
Yeah, so on the website you have goals up there, you have the meeting dates up there, you have the purpose, so I guess that's the mission. We could probably put the annual report on there, Tammy, from 2019.
Okay.
And yeah, all the members are on there. So
And how many members do we have?
you have yourself, Chantal, Danny, Ricky, Kyle, Jay, and Antonia.
So it's what, 7?
So that's 7, so we need,
So we need two
we need
alternates.
2 more. And what does it mean, what does an
What does
alternate
that mean? Yeah, that's what we.
So
want.
this kind of scenario here, if you're missing people, we can keep having a meeting that's
Would
official.
they be allowed to vote even if the other, like the regular members were all here? Could the alternates still vote?
My
Or would they
assumption would be
only
yes.
vote if,
I believe so.
My assumption would be yes. It'd still be 9. It'd be
Because
not
the alternates come to the meeting also.
correct.
They hear. And if a permanent member, okay, for some reason decide to leave, the first alternate take over. That keep going like
okay,
this.
okay,
Then they will replace the alternate.
got it,
But now it looks like we do not have the 2 alternates.
right. So we need to get 2 more people. Or else we're gonna have trouble next year.
And Ricky has been getting emails, right? Ricardo?
Yes, yes, and
No,
I've
'cause I
been
know he was
communicating.
very interested in coming. That's why I was like,
He's a chaperone at the prom tonight.
okay.
And last month he was doing choir.
Okay.
He was at a choir thing, so he just wasn't able to go. And we couldn't have a meeting in April. We weren't allowed, I think I told you all, because they didn't have us down. And I
Okay.
guess it wasn't, the public wasn't notified in time. They need to have
So that-
time.
Some people want to attend.
The
Right.
meeting
Right.
was not published.
Right, so we weren't allowed.
Okay.
So that's why. But now, the next meetings are all on the website, so we know, like they know about it.
Okay.
Everybody knows. They're all booked, at least to the end of the year. Okay. Who should I ask about getting two more members?
That's gonna be the mayor.
Yeah, Carolyn Ehrlich and,
Okay.
or if we have anyone, I guess we could recommend.
Yes,
I guess that would work also.
yes.
Okay.
Yes, people do write someone in the township, usually the mayor or someone of that caliber, and says, I'm interested in serving.
You know, we have a Facebook, you guys said. Someone could write something up there, you know. We're looking for 2 alternative members. Please contact us if you're interested. And then you can kind of just maybe make decisions from there.
Who
Yeah.
manages the Facebook page?
That, I don't remember last time we was
I've never
doing
even
it.
seen it.
I
We
never
have
even had a
so
Facebook,
many
so
questions. We have so,
I
I
stayed away
have
from
so
that.
many questions.
Yeah,
yes, that's that's
I'm
good though.
like
It's best to
addicted
get these out and we
Facebook,
can get
but,
on them.
Yeah.
you addicted to Facebook?
Oh, yes.
Oh yeah.
Okay, so I guess.
Oh, yeah.
So I guess you're
But
taking
no,
over the Facebook.
no,
It sounds
no.
like if you're
No,
addicted to
I'll be the
Facebook.
secretary for a couple months. No, I like to read it. I don't like to.
Engage.
Yes.
I got you. That's fair.
Okay, all right, I feel a little overwhelmed, right? But I feel like we're, you know,
Making good progress.
making progress.
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay. Are you guys okay going over Kyle's document now? Did I give it to you?
I don't have one. I'm trying to see who was in charge of Facebook.
Well, as you can see, we kind of had a lot of questions. So that's why I kind of wrote this up before we even had meetings, to maybe just give us a little bit of structure. So I kind of go on over the composition of the board, how many members has it consist of, how many alternates you have, a mission statements, you know, just kind of example mission statements that maybe we can agree on, and then just a mixture of just like short and long-term plans that we want as a board. Because what happens, we're not going to be here forever. There's going to be a point where maybe your term's up, you don't want to do it, or a new member comes on, or a new chairperson comes on, and they shouldn't get put into a position where they're so confused. There should have been a long-term and short-term agenda that we can always stick to, so then Woodbridge is always moving on that path of being environmental friendly. So, again, these are just ideas. I just wanted to share a bunch of them. I don't know if we have to do each and every one of them, but I feel like we should have a short and long-term plan and try to check off those goals and then keep going with it instead of, you know, all over the place. And then obviously the immediate actions look like they were kind of actually handled. Yeah.
Right, okay, so we took care of review and organizing the outdated materials in the shed.
Yep. Once we figure out our budget, we can get more proper information for representing ourselves at an event. Just have like a tablecloth with our name on it, you know, like the.
That was beautiful, by the way.
Yeah, I just got those
see
done.
pictures.
I just got those done at a printing shop. I still have those, so they're still good. We can still use those for events.
You can
But we
keep
needed
it
something.
For the record,
I wasn't gonna go out there just for the
I
table.
think I have another one.
I'm not having.
And thank you for doing
Oh, that was fun.
Um,
That was a good time.
I enjoyed
Our
doing
turnout
it
was
last year.
great.
All right, that's great.
Yeah.
I felt terrible that I couldn't do it. I knew that I couldn't do it when I took this position. I had to do,
I went to Home Depot and got a bunch of like plants and stuff. People loved it.
okay.
Giving out a bunch of seeds away, you know, a lot of pamphlets, a lot of awareness, explained what we do, who we are, and yeah, it was good. It was a big turnout. The weather was good, so it was fun. Yeah, I enjoyed that. That was good.
What year was that? What year was that?
2016.
We came up with a meeting schedule. We updated our website. We added the members that we have on there. You know, and that wasn't updated like that. That was kind of bothering me a little bit. I feel like we should have been updated on there, which is all done now.
Okay.
Yeah. And then obviously the NJAC membership we do have.
Yes.
And,
And I've been-
Sustainable Jersey we do have.
I have been, if we have the membership, we're like invited to go to they have mostly virtual trainings. So I did some of their virtual trainings. I felt like that was pretty interesting.
Oh, yeah.
You see, so yeah, so
Oh, yeah, I went to their trainings. They have interesting trainings.
and again, these are just ideas that, you know, we can add to this, but I just feel like coming down with kind of just, you know, a small list of short and long-term goals that we actually want to take care of. And then once they're checked off, keep adding, and then the commission has an agenda that's always going forward regardless who's on the board, and there's a structure there. So then when you do have a turnover like we have here,
Right.
you're not in such a confused position.
Right.
Or when a new member comes on, you can give them a packet. They can understand what we're trying to do, what, you know what I mean? Having some of this stuff on the website, so when members of the community want to know who we are. It seemed like a lot of people didn't even know we existed,
Yeah.
I hear that all the time, so.
that's not good,
But it's in the Woodbridge Township website.
Yes, but there's also I don't know how many commissions on that website.
Yeah, it's good.
Yeah, good list.
Which a lot of some of the items we really talked over. We talked about the tree planting and maintenance.
Mhm.
Once we get more of a list of our open inventory, we can keep an eye out on our parks and our open areas. Maybe trying to implement more of those greenways like you had there. Those are great.
Mm-hmm.
So, maybe we sit to you guys because, a lot of these bullet points, and I understand that a lot of these projects you guys might not be aware of, but we're doing a lot of things that you guys can definitely get involved in and help enhance and expand. So,
Perfect.
just for instance, Seawarren Waterfront, there's a whole living shoreline plan for Boynton Beach.
Yeah, it's very exciting.
Yeah,
it's
so
very exciting stuff.
there's a lot of cool stuff to get involved with. So that's just one example, but
Yeah, just even we can maybe help get volunteers to help with stuff like that. I see there's a lot of driftwood
yeah,
that comes up. Is there one day where we can reach out to the community where we go out there and just pick up the driftwood? Even here, I had one day a month where we just pick up garbage. It's just small things, and they add up,
listen-
and it also shows the community members that we're out there. And there's a lot of people that probably want to get involved with this stuff that are
And
not
there's a
on the
lot
board.
of kids
Correct.
who are interested in community service.
We can implement with the high schools. We have
Right.
so many. We have big schools. We don't have
Yeah.
small schools. I don't know how far you can go. How can you go to the middle school level? I don't know, but you
Well,
can.
we could do it with Scouts.
That's
Sorry.
No,
Keep
yeah.
doing that. I only have a voice with Scouts for another 6 months. Then I'm out.
Well, people say, "Oh, what's the environmental discussion board?" And you see us out there picking up garbage, once a month. You hear about it.
Mhm.
Maybe we should be using that Facebook a little bit more. And once we figure out what we want to do, put out these events.
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay. We have to find out
Good,
who's
I think
managing this.
the trail, we can be involved and maintain the trail, make sure that everything is up to date.
Yeah, 100%. Showing people about it, telling people about it. Even just the word is good
There's
enough.
nothing we can do.
Yeah,
I like the trail. I'm always been talking about the trail now.
it's good.
any tree shelters that fall, from heavy winds, there's always maintenance when it comes to restoration work, so.
Yeah.
Yeah, anything you guys wanna get involved with, we can make it happen. Anything that you wanna take on your own, for sure, just so, a lot of this stuff, we could sit and just chat out projects all day.
Mhm. So then how about we, as a commission, pick 3? Like 3 things, on this list that we're interested in, and then we can talk to Tom and find out who's already doing that, if anybody's already doing that. And if not, we could start it, but if somebody else is doing it, we could,
See if they need a hand. See how we can get involved.
Yeah, the more support the better.
Working together as a team.
is that all right?
Yeah.
Do you guys,
Yeah.
because this is a great list, I just feel, already I'm feeling very overwhelmed, just with everything else that's,
We went over a lot of it on the agenda.
that I'm
today.
learning.
Yeah.
But if we could just, just pick a couple. And then we could pick a couple more,
Exactly.
All right, so do you want to make decisions about that now, or do you all feel comfortable choosing, maybe each of us choose one of these things that,
And just send it into the email of the thread.
yeah, that means something?
3 things, and then we'll have it in the thread and we can
Right,
make that
like
decision.
something, like a personal feeling that we have about it.
Yeah, I'll choose 2 short term and then 1 long term.
Okay,
Yeah, then I'll put that in there.
Okay, do you wanna do that? We
Yeah.
can each do that, okay. Okay. Is there anything else that we should talk about? I didn't list anything else as new business. I did put on that we talked about the environmental resource inventory, I added that as new business. And then my list that I'm following up with.
I think that was the last thing, you just gotta go over the mail.
Yes. You're still here, are you okay staying? You don't, there's, thank God, there's only 3.
That's all
Thank
there is.
God.
Oh.
Well, how much,
great.
how much mail was there last
Oh,
time?
my
gosh.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah?
Here, you
Oh,
can
you
start.
can open that.
Oh, gosh. When I open that,
It's off the
how
same
did we
person.
get that, like, how, did you bring this?
The mayor's office.
It sits, yeah, it sits here before the meeting.
It goes to the mayor's
So they
office.
just bring it in, they just leave it here for us, or like,
Uh,
how do
for-
we get it?
For the meeting tonight, it was brought into this room.
Because they knew we were coming here.
Yeah, because this is where you guys are having meetings.
They told me, somebody told me that we're meeting in council chambers. But I think on the website, it says this room.
It's historically been this room. I think council chambers was just when.
That's
COVID
correct.
It was the one
rampant.
time, I think.
It was just
Yeah.
one
I only
time,
remember being there that one time that we were there.
the last time, okay,
Yeah.
so,
I don't remember being there
But
for,
just so
for
people could
this.
spread out a little bit
It's-
more.
oh, okay, alright,
This
so
is-
we'll
This
just,
is where we always meet.
alright, so we're gonna keep meeting here.
Yeah.
Alright, I'll make sure that I put that in our email.
Is that the Kisby now again? Kisby playing?
I can't even look at it right now. I really can't, do you mind looking at it? I really just can't right now.
Oh, that's the sewer and treatment plant facility. Oh. Remediation. Treatment plant facility and sewer and remediation. That's what this is all about. Permit. Permit for remediation.
Alright, thank you.
Nothing new.
Okay, I think we saw something about this
That's
last time.
time.
Okay.
What we-
I've lived in Woodbridge almost my entire life. I need to get in the car and drive around now, I think, and just take a look.
And get to
It's
know.
big,
I know.
It's really
I mean,
big.
and I know the
One of the biggest
township, I just,
municipalities.
yeah. And it's,
but now that I, you know, that I'm becoming aware of these plots and like the stuff that's going on, I need to,
we're just big.
yeah.
10 towns.
This is about the Vermillion project over
Remember
on Main
that?
Street. Just ordinance about their extension until 2026
10 towns.
of land use.
Not 9, 10. This one is an LOI. BB. Oh, it was that.
This is just a notice, a public notification related to the former sewer and treatment plant facility. And just saying that there's an application
It's an LOI.
authorized on the Coastal General Permit 11 with the DEP. And that they're looking for comments to be sent in.
This is just about soil sampling.
Yeah. And that's what they're talking about here. that they-
This is a soil sampling for that specific property on the back. So,
And it's, you always have a picture from outer space or something.
that's a big project. That's already there though, yeah,
That's Vermilla.
that's familiar, yeah.
I don't know, do you want these saved also?
I don't remember what we did with the last one.
Oh, the
I
letter?
think
Well,
I
I kept them in the envelope, I didn't do anything with them, because it was just the mail, but
It's just another public
if
notification.
you wanted to save those things, you can, of course.
I feel like they should be stored with,
with the minutes, and I like with all our
Yeah.
sign-in stuff?
Yeah.
Okay, okay. So I'll hold on to it until the next meeting if you want, and then I'll give you a whole thing that you can
Put in there, okay.
All right, so then do you wanna put the minutes in
Mhm.
with the
Yep.
mail from last
Yep.
time?
The secretary is supposed to take all the letter and record with what you receive. That's what I'm doing. It's a big job.
I don't want that part of the job.
Yeah, it's,
and then you add it to the documentation as
Yeah,
part of
yeah.
the meeting, yeah. So this would get posted publicly?
everything that you, all the letters that you receive, secretary is supposed to make a note that this is what we received, this is what it's all about.
I'll do that this time.
It's a lot of work.
I'll do that
The secretary.
Yeah.
for these three. I'm not going back to that, I'm not doing that.
Only forward.
Yeah, from starting
Yeah,
from
yeah,
today.
yeah,
But
exactly.
of course, in September, there's gonna be 100. There'll be 100 of them. We have a breakdown at the point. All right, I guess we're done. Are we done? Everybody good?
Yeah, motion to adjourn?
Yes,
I,
okay. So who made it?
I make a
Danny?
motion.
Danny, and then you seconded it.
At 9:10?
okay.
9:10 PM, okay. Thanks, everybody.
No, thank you.
Thank you.
Yeah.